Fine. Now EBS encryption, you can encrypt your data. If you remember, if you recall, while we were launching an instance, I selected when I was attaching an additional EBS, the encryption key I selected, right? So we can even encrypt the data. EBS encryption does not require you to build, maintain, and secure your own key management infrastructure. You don't have to do this part. You can just select the key, and the AWS will do that part, building, maintaining, and securing the key. If a file storage service, it is a file storage service for Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So the next type of storage is EFS. The only difference between EFS, maximum number of snapshots allowed for an EC2, any number of snapshots, there is no limit for that. Okay. So a file storage, we discuss about EBS, that is also a block level storage. Elastic File System, EFS, is also a block level storage. Okay, the only difference is that one EBS volume can be attached to only one EC2 instance. Okay, one EBS volume, one EBS only to one EC2. But this one EFS can be attached to multiple instances. Okay, it's like a virtual disk. EFS is like a virtual disk. So a single physical disk, we create multiple virtual disks. This is assume that this is a single physical disk, and these are all multiple virtual disks, right? So we can each virtual disk we can attach it to one EC2 instance. So you are sharing this one, but EBS volume we cannot share. Okay, so now next demonstration is about attaching a EBS volume. So we will create additional EBS volume and we will attach it. Before that, we will see whether that is done. Let me go to my management console. Okay, so now you can see this particular Linux instance is in the ready state, running state. Now let me just quickly see. I will copy the public IP and will try to see if I can reach the index.html file. Yes, I am able to reach, right? So this is the public IP of the newly launched instance, and whatever configuration we did, it's working fine. Right, so understood. So what we did, we created an EC2 instance by using the standard AMI. Then we logged into that. We installed the HTTP. I just created an HTML page, and I started that service by check config. I made it on so that over reboot also it will persist that. And then I created an AMI, and by using that AMI I launched a new server. So this is the new one, and by using this public IP I'm able to reach to that index.html. If I do a PuTTY login, I will be able to see that the few files and directories I created, so I should be able to even see that also. So quickly I will log on. The same keypair file 20th open. Yes, EC2-user. I will have to go to super user because I created it under super user directory ls. Can see the one which I created, so it's there, right? So that is how the things work. So if you see here under snapshot, you can see this is the snapshot of my AMI. Okay, so this another practical is over demonstration. Now the next demonstration highlighted is creating an EBS volume. Means create a EBS volume and attach it to the existing one. Okay, so what I will do before that, I will just show you. In Linux we have a command to see this one. See, there is just one disk right now I have. From within the Linux I am using this. Okay, but as I attach, the another disk will also get highlighted. That is one thing. Or I don't have to check over there. I can check it from here also. So if you see root volume, it is showing me here only one disk is there. So I will create another volume. I will attach it to this. Now I will go in the volume, create a volume, specify the type. As we have already discussed, the different types of volumes are there. So I will just go with the lowest one, which will not have much charges. Okay, and for just for practical demonstration it's fine for me. And if you, one more important thing, I will just go with general purpose. The moment I select that, see the minimum size supported by, or in what is the minimum size it comes with, and what's the maximum size it supports, that is highlighted. As I change to provisioned IO, see automatically it gets changed. So minimum 4 GB, maximum is this one. Okay, so it supports in 16 terabyte. As I go with cold HDD, see, So automatically you will understand what is the size supported. As I go with magnetic, I can create the lowest one also, 1 GB. So I will just create 1 GB volume. Okay. Can we see REST demo on Windows as well? What kind of demo on Windows? The same thing. You can create a volume, attach it to Windows, and go to like connect back to the window, and then check out in the settings, just like you check it in the normal environment. How do you check the resources, the hardware, right? The what we call it as settings only, right? This one, the settings. Under settings you check, right? The devices and all. The same way you can check it. Nothing different. It's simple. It's in fact simple in Windows. That's why I'm using Linux. Otherwise, it's very simple for me to show in Windows. Ashish? Okay, you have to follow the same procedure, attaching and detaching and all, same procedure, fine. But only the thing is that accessing within the Windows will be different. Here in Linux, we have to use commands. There, you don't have to use commands. So fine, so what I'm doing, I am volume, I am creating 1 GB, smallest, lowest volume, I am creating 1 GB. Okay, now it comes the important thing, that is availability zone. Now I do not remember in which availability zone I placed my instance. So let me just go back and let me check, because I'm planning to attach this to newly launched Linux instance. Okay, so it's better that I should check. This is my newly launched, that is AMI EC2. It is there in the US East 1A availability zone. Okay, so creating, again going to volume, create a volume. I'm going with the magnetic one, which gives me the lowest. I can create of 1 GB also. 1A availability zone. Okay, snapshot ID. I don't want to use any snapshot for this. I just want a plain volume. Whether you want to encrypt, you can choose this. I do not want encryption also, but if I want, I can choose encryption. Here I can default, I can use, right? That's what we discussed, that we do not have to maintain any encryption key building maintaining, so we can use the default, and Amazon will take care of that, maintaining the key. If you want, you can add a tag. Let's add a tag. Let's say name for this volume I will provide as my AMI EBS, AMI EC2 EBS. Okay, so since I'm attaching it to this one, so I just gave it that kind of name. Okay, if like we created additional volume, we can we partition already allocated volume of, yes, yes, Sarvesh. See, within the operating system, the things works as how it works. Okay, you partition, you do whatever you want. If you have free space in your existing volume, you can even do that, no problem. It is nothing different than your traditional way. Once you have launched, and within the operating system, the things remain same. Now I will one example of this. See, we are not discussing the operating system, Sarvesh, here. So it will be, if I show that thing, it will not be relevant for this particular course. Okay, will be totally out of track. So now the volume is been created. So now this volume, if you look at the name, you can make out what I want. I want to attach this. So I will click on action, attach volume, select the instance. Now I want it for which instance? My AMI EC2 instance, right? So I will select this. The device name for this volume is SDF. Fine. I will just click on attach. Once it is attached, I will just go to the instances, and there I can see, as I select my this one EC2, look at the device. Can you see here now? One is the EBS which we selected, or that got attached while the instance was launched. The other one SDF. Okay, understood everyone? Any questions? So quickly I will show you here the same command, fdis-l should show me now the next one. Yeah, so initially it was only this one. See, okay, if I just scroll up, it was just highlighting me only one, but now after this one more time, like, it has added. So the moment you attach it, it's available to the operating system, and rest of the things you can do partitioning, whatever you want, you can do that within the OS. Okay, so anyone, any questions? Attaching EBS volume demonstration is done. Any questions? Yes, I have attached a volume to a Linux instance. I will just do one thing. Since there was a question, I will just do one thing. I will detach this volume, but Do I have my Windows instance in the running state? Demo. Oh, all I have terminated. Okay, shit. I have terminated the Windows instance. Otherwise, I could have showed you what I wanted to show you. I will detach this the volume from the existing one, and I can attach it to the Windows instance. That also I can do. Okay, but now it is not there, doesn't matter. I will just do it between these two instances. I have two Linux instances. The same way you can do it for Windows also, right? Because Windows was occupying 30 GB of space, right? And I had to create one the other instances also. That's why I just terminated it. And okay, I will go to volumes. I will select the volume. Click here, detach the volume. Detach it. Once it is detached, if you check on the instances, for this instance, it should be removed after some time. Okay, it's in the process. Yes, it has been detached. Now you can see there is no that SDF some name was there, right? So it's not there. So I'm going back to the volumes. Select, click on action. Now if you see the moment I detach, as I scroll on the right, you can see the status is changed. It's saying that it is available. Means you can attach it to any other instance. In use means it's already been used by some instance. Okay. So click here, attach volume. Which instance you want to attach, you can. I will attach this time to Linux demo. Okay, attach it. Go back to instances, check after some time, or yeah, it's highlighted. So like this you can attach the additional volume from one instance, sorry, detach it, attach it to another one, but the root volume you cannot do that. Okay. um, so if we want to keep this, then we have to leave instances running. It is not like that. In a stop state also I can do that. But see, other instances are terminated, right? So that's why it's no more there. It's just lying here. After some time, it will do the Amazon will do a cleanup. This will get removed completely from the dashboard also. These are all terminated one. Fine. If it is in the stop state also, you can just attach it. So we can add or remove volumes in both Windows and yes, the same process. Probably you can do this practical. Okay, I showed it on Linux. You can just do it, launch a Windows and then just attach a volume to that. Create a volume, attach it, and you will be able to see in Windows when you go with the settings and the devices. Easily it will highlight. Okay. Suppose if you are not able to see that, just let me know. I will showcase you then. I will show you that demonstration. Okay. But it is very simple. That's why I'm not taking that part. Okay, so if we keep instance in stop mode, will we be charged? No, we are not charged when it is stopped. Only we are charged when it is in the running state. Okay, yeah. So yes, so let's move on to next. This one, attaching volume is done. Okay, immediately next demonstration is there. So the next demonstration already we have done. I will just explain you what this demonstration is all about. It is EBS and RAID 0. How many of you know the RAID 0? Have you heard about this? I'm very bad in drawing. Yeah, how many of you knows RAID 0, guys? No idea? RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disk. Okay. Now, if I want to improve the I/O performance, yes, we have different RAID levels are there. RAID 0, RAID 1. Yes, very good. It is typing. Okay, you are correct. Sunita, it is typing. Sunita, Vasant, no, Vasant is correct. RAID 0 is typing. RAID 1 is mirroring. Okay. RAID 5 is typing with parity. So like this various RAID levels are there. In short, RAID 0 is typing, which is used to improve the input output performance. Okay. What happens now in RAID 0? Your data will be distributed on multiple disks, and each disk will have its own read write head. Right? So what it will do, if I want to explain, this is, let's say, one disk, this is another disk. Okay, and this will have its own read write head, this will have its own read write head. And now when I'm putting the data, I will divide the data in multiple lists. Like one part of my data I will keep it in the first hard disk, second part of data I will keep it in the second hard disk. Okay, so the IO operation will be fast. Yes, it will not give any fault tolerance. IO will, this is RAID 0 is only to improve the performance. Okay, so my big size file is divided into chunks, and each hard disk will hold a chunk, each disk will hold a chunk. Fine. So what is happening when I'm trying to do read operation? Parallelly the data will be uploaded in memory. Means one chunk from first disk and another chunk from another hard disk will be loaded in memory, and the access will be fast. Same thing when I'm writing, it will be written to the disk parallelly. Okay, so it is mainly used to improve the input output performance, but no fault tolerance. Okay, no data redundancy. It will not give us fault tolerance behavior. Remember, one disk fails, your data will be lost. Okay, so now how can we do that? See, rate 0. Now here already what we have done, when we attach the EBS volume to our instance, okay, it will start distributing the data on that particular EBS volume also. Okay, so like this we can implement that. Instead of putting everything on a single disk, we can just distribute it across the disk. Okay, let's do a knowledge check. So what different types of EBS are there? Provisioned IOP, general purpose, cold HDD, magnetic, and SDD and HDD. These two categories are there, and under that we have throughput also, right? How come B? There is no by the name reduced, right? If you read the names carefully, have you come across the word reduced? It's not correct. Oh, many of you have answered this one. I think here also the word reduce has come. Where is the word reduce we have? If you just recall that table, see, we have provision, general purpose, throughput, cold, and magnetic. There is no reduced option. Okay, select the correct EBS types. Okay, sorry. Fine. Now EBS snapshot, right? So let's see how we can take the EBS snapshot and what a snapshot is. In short, snapshot is a backup. Okay, it's a backup. Is there any option to get email, send email once EC2 instance create to keep the details so that we will, yes, we have to integrate the service, Mahi. We have to integrate the SNS by using SNS, SES, we can do that. We will see that in the application services topic. Okay. So what I was saying, the snapshot is nothing but it's your backup. So whenever you want to take the snapshot of your EBS volume, you can take the snapshot of your EBS volume, so it will do the backup of EBS. So backup of EBS volume by taking point in time image. Okay, point in time image is nothing but suppose if I'm doing the snapshot now, so till now whatever data is been updated in my EBS volume, that will be backed up. But whatever data is getting updated after that will not be there updated in my snapshot. So that's a point in time image, and storing them on S3. So what it will do, let's take a simple example. Here I have assumed that this particular instance has 100 GB, 1 terabyte of data, okay, on the EBS volume. Now when I start the snapshot, if I go to volume, okay, this is the volume which I have attached to that instance, just assume that, and now I'm clicking on action, create a snapshot. So when I create a snapshot, it will hardly take some time. You will feel that how come it has taken a backup of 1 terabyte of data so fast. But snapshot, as it is a point in time image, it will just capture the state of that particular volume, and then in the backend it will still be doing that, taking off the backup will be still happening in the backend. Snapshot will be completed quickly, but the backup will be still in progress in the backend, and the backup will be done on the S3 bucket. Okay, so the snapshots are kept on S3. So backup EBS volume by taking point in time snapshot and storing them on S3. Incremental backups, which means only the blocks on the device that have changed after the most recent snapshot was saved. So after the last snapshot, some changes you have done to inside your instance to your data. So when you are taking next snapshot, it will just take the this one changes. Okay, so that's the incremental. When you delete a snapshot, only the data exclusive to that snapshot is removed. So which snapshot, you will select the snapshot and you will delete it, so only that will be removed, the other snapshots are still intact. Active snapshot contains all the information needed to restore your data. Okay, so you can restore the complete thing from the snapshot, the complete data which was there on your EBS volume. If the EBS volume is encrypted, your snapshot will also be encrypted. If the EBS volume was not encrypted, you cannot encrypt your snapshot, remember that. Larger volumes can take up to 24 hours to copy to S3, but the snapshot is taken immediately. Okay, so this point already I explained you. The copying, the backup will be happening in the backend, but the snapshot will be done immediately. Okay, it won't take much time, but if you have large amount of data, then it will be still doing the backup in the backend. What is the interval for snapshot? See, it is a manual snapshot, Shubh. It is not an automatic snapshot. Okay, it's a manual snapshot. So point in time, create point in time snapshot of volume which are stored for your Amazon, in your S3 bucket. Copy it. Now once it is stored in S3 bucket, if you know that yesterday we have seen the option. Oh sorry, S3 is not done for you, right? Or it is it done? S3 is not done, right? Okay, sorry. It's done in this another session, so I just got confused. See, in S3 we have an option wherein we can do cross-region replication. Okay, cross-region replication. So what we can do, once the snapshot is kept on the S3, we can just replicate this snapshot to other regions, and we can use this same snapshot. Okay, like this we can move our data across the region also. So that is what this point says. Copy it from one AWS region to another, or you can do it within the same region. Encrypt your data with S3. So S3 also supports, it's a storage service, so it also supports the encryption. So you can encrypt your data by using the S3 server side encryption we have, and that is a 256-bit encryption. Okay, so the snapshots, while it is stored on the S3, we can keep it in the encrypted form to add security. Now let me just demonstrate you how we can do the snapshot. Okay, so yes, already I selected, I can just select the volume, action, create a snapshot, specify what description you want. Now not encrypted. See, since my snapshot, since my EBS volume is not encrypted, it will not allow me to create a, it will not allow me to enable the encryption. If my EBS is encrypted, my snapshot can, I can even encrypt my snapshot. So now I'm just creating a snapshot. I'll go here. I will see. So it is done. Hardly it was just a 1 GB and it is done. Even if it is a big in size also, it will be completed fast, and the backup will be happening in the backend. Okay, so that is how you create a snapshot. Okay, so like this, if I want, I can create multiple snapshots. Okay, before we just, because already we are, one sec. So this demonstration of EBS snapshot is done. Let me just quickly do the knowledge check for this. Which of the following statements is not true? So snapshots are full backup is not true, right? Incremental backup option is also there. How come? See, Rajiv, how come? Samir, you have also see active snapshot contain all the information needed to restore your data. This point I highlighted, right? You can restore the data, complete data, by using your snapshot. So incremental backup is also there. Incremental backup only the changes. How come, B Michael? See, when you delete a snapshot, only the data exclude you. Let's say I have created multiple snapshot of my EBS volume, and any one snapshot I delete, only the data which is there in that snapshot will be removed. Other snapshots are still in place. I can use those snapshot. Okay. Fine. So I will just go back, and here one, the snapshot I have showed you how can you create a snapshot. Now if I go under AMI, I have this AMI. Okay, my Linux AMI is the name. I will just go to the services EC2. Let me just see my Linux AMI if it is highlighted here. Now I want to, now this also I can use, this way also I can use to launch the instance by using my AMI. So if you see, if I click on my AMI, here it will be highlighted. Okay, with the AMI which I created. Now if I check this on community AMI, let's say my AMI, I'm just searching by using my, so it will not be there, right? So what I will have to do, it is presently it is private. I will have to make it public. So I will just go back to the EC2. Let me just select the AMI, action, modify image permission. Go with this option. Here you have this image is currently private. I want to make it public. I will click on public. I will save it. Okay, so it will take some time. Right now the visibility is private. If you see the visibility, okay, it is private. Oh, now it is updated, but let's see whether it has come in the community AMI. Okay, going here, launch, it is there in my, I will just take this name to make a search under community AMI. It has not updated here. Okay, so it will take some time, and after some time it will get updated here. So as I made it make it public, it will come in the community AMI. So that is how we make the AMI public from private. Okay, It's quite a big topic, guys. So today we'll not be able to complete. Already we have reached to the time. Fine. So we have done with this almost 64, more than 50% is done. So the pricing part is there, and then we have ELB and auto scaling is there. Bin stock is there, right? So let it will take some time. After 2-3 minutes, it will come in the community place. So if you have any questions, you can post. Kunal says, how can you make it available in marketplace? See, you can put something in a marketplace only when it is like it's a product, right? This kind of AMIs are available easily. How can you set a price for that? Once you make it public, it will go in the marketplace also. But the thing is that you will not be able to put a charge on that. Okay. Logo says snapshots are taken for volumes and not for instances. See, instance data will be ultimately kept in the EBS volume, right? Logo. EBS backed instances or EBS backed AMI, when we use to launch an instance, the operating system will be completely installed on your EBS. So when you are taking a snapshot of EBS, it's actually taking the backup of your instance. I could have done it for this itself. What I'm saying, for my root volume. Okay, I didn't do for root volume, but I can even do that. Oh, thank you so much. I thought you guys were not responding, so too much for you for to digest the things. I was just thinking from that point of view. Lot of things are there. It's quite big topic. I'm just going back here. EC2. If I just click on the volumes, here this is the volume which is, yeah, this is the volume which is connect, this is the root volume of my Linux demo. Okay, so if I take a snapshot, it's of 8 GB, and this has the complete operating system. So if I take a snapshot of this snapshot I can use to recreate the this one. By using this snapshot, I can create an AMI, I can launch the instance once again. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, so I was just going with the instance to check whether it has come over there. Launch community. It takes some time, though it changes the status immediately, but it takes time. It will come here. Okay, so I will take up the questions. Snapshots are taken. Yeah, so I guess you got the answer, Logo. So your demos, okay, fine. Usually when we talk about snapshot, it's about the virtual machine. Yeah, I know. In a general data center environment, when we talk about snapshot, even in that environment also, the snapshot has a different this one. We take a snapshot, and by using snapshot, we do the backup. Okay, but here it is two things are integrated. Logo, the snapshot and the backup is integrated together. So when you are doing snapshot, it is taking backup also, right? But we do that for a machine. Okay, even we do that for a file system also for some part of that. But here it is on a volume, on a virtual disk, virtual hard disk.